gorgeous, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. I hope you're all doing well. So today we're building a big English countryside manor on the 64 by 64 lot in Henford on Bagley. If you're not sure where that is the world that came with Cottage Living, and this is the lot where the Watson family used to live. So unfortunately I had to toss them, but instead I built this pretty epic mansion, if I do say so myself. So I was really in the mood to build something big again. The last one I did was, I think it was 2 weeks ago or so, and it was the I believe I call it the larger mega country estate. And the funny thing is that one started out kind of as a Mediterranean mansion, and as I was starting to add on to it and add the details, it kind of started to feel more Northern European or British or German or Dutch, whatever. And that really inspired me to do like a proper British mansion or British manor home. So yeah, that's what this is. This house has 4 bedrooms, so that's not super big, but downstairs it also has a gardening room and an office, so you could easily turn those into bedrooms if you want to. And I think it has like 7 bathrooms or so. You really do not need that many bathrooms, but you know, I feel like in a mansion like this you would have a lot of bathrooms. So in the backyard, I also made a wedding venue. So you could very well use this house as a wedding venue as well, so if you don't want to live here. So there's a wedding arch, obviously, a piano, some tables, buffet tables, and seating near the arch. So you should be able to throw a nice wedding here. I don't have a dance floor, but I think you could add one in. I just didn't put it because it didn't really completely go with the aesthetic. But in terms of gameplay, I think it would be nice to add a dance floor. So yeah, here you can see me painting the exterior. It took me quite a while to figure out what I wanted to do in terms of a color scheme and in terms of the color of the roof. I changed it quite a lot. This build took me a very, very, very long time to do. And I had to cut out quite a bit of footage, I think. So this one actually is sped up 6 times. The previous build that I did was sped up 8 times, but some of you commented that it was a little bit too fast, and so thank you so much for that feedback. I have to agree, and I definitely feel like watching a build at 6 times speed is a lot easier to follow. So I'm back at 6 times speed, but that means that I had to cut out a lot of footage, but I feel like it's okay. The majority that I cut out is the landscaping anyway, or when I'm being very, very indecisive about color schemes, and I just cut out the decision-making process, even though I feel like that might be interesting to watch, because when you're watching a speed build, it looks like building is very, very easy, but don't be fooled, guys. It can be pretty hard, and for me, I make it look easy in these speed builds, but I definitely had a pretty hard time building this house. I was so indecisive about a lot of the details, but yeah, I feel like in the end it turned out okay. And also I cut out a lot of the landscaping, and I think I spent most time on this build doing the landscaping because I really wanted to create like a very large and lush British garden, and I feel like I succeeded. I definitely love how the garden turned out, but watching landscaping, even though it can be kind of relaxing to watch, it's also very, very repetitive. And I also have to talk over everything. So you can see me placing these bushes here right now. So basically I placed those bushes everywhere, and you can imagine like all the pathways that I did, I framed with these bushes. So that took me a very, very long time to do. And you'll see how the landscaping will turn out in the end. And I think you can definitely tell that it was a lot of work to do. And in terms of the landscaping, I basically only used the Cottage Living debug stuff or debug landscaping. Honestly, I use that in all of my houses. I rarely ever go into the normal landscaping catalog anymore because I just know I want to use the Cottage Living debug stuff. Like those rose bushes, I am absolutely obsessed. I think they are so good. And also those green sort of messy bushes. I think they're so realistic and they're just really nice filler bushes. And in the normal landscaping category, I feel like we don't have very good like normal looking bushes, like messy looking bushes that just, grow everywhere. And I feel like those green bushes are really good to fill up the landscaping a little bit. So yeah, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the My Wedding Stories game pack because I think it was a week ago now, they released another patch to fix all of the issues. And I personally haven't played with it myself. I never played with it. I only bought it to basically build in the world. And I have really noticed that since I've started my YouTube channel, I don't really have a whole lot of time left to play The Sims for myself. It's okay, like I love doing this, I love building, and basically when I played The Sims for myself, let's say 80% of the time I was building anyway, so don't worry, it's fine. But yeah, I don't really do a whole lot of gameplay anymore, and I haven't played with the Wedding Stories pack yet. And obviously, I wasn't really planning on playing with it because it was so broken. So I just kind of wanted to save myself that experience. But now that it has been fixed, allegedly, supposedly, I've seen a couple of mixed reviews. I watched Little Simsy's video, and she was pretty positive about the patch, that it fixed definitely quite a bit of the issues. For example, your Sims will actually cut the cake when you tell them to. The wedding officiants actually show up and do their job, and all those things didn't work before. It can still be a little bit glitchy, like Sims, they don't, if you do like the first dance, they don't really watch in a proper way, or they kind of turn their back and twist their necks awkwardly to watch the wedding, to watch the first dance, apologies. So yeah, that is interesting, but it definitely seems like it works a lot better. So I'm still kind of hesitant to do like a full-on wedding venue, but I felt like this house, especially with this British garden, would be a perfect set actually for a garden wedding. So that's what I set up in the back of the build, and you will see it. Oh yeah, another thing that I wanted to quickly address regarding the wedding pack, I feel like, in my opinion, it was kind of doomed to fail. And I think I addressed this in one of the first videos that I did when they had just announced the wedding pack. I had my concerns because I know that The Sims 4 is really notoriously buggy, and it is just hard to get your Sims to do what you tell them to do. They always ignore you. They just kind of are like that. And with the wedding pack, from what I had seen, is that it's just very, very micromanagey. Like you literally have to tell them to walk down the aisle, walk up the aisle, gather for cake, cut the cake, gather for dancing, do the first dance. And you really have to direct every single little detail. And I feel like maybe for a lot of players that is okay. I think for me, that's not how I prefer to play the game. I just kind of like my Sims to have them do whatever they want to do, and I just, set up the big things. But I would much rather just have an option to say start wedding ceremony, for example, and just watch your Sims do everything in order. Or maybe you can set up the order beforehand and then have an option to like play wedding ceremony, and they walk down the aisle together and they do they do their wedding vows or whatever, and then they go cut the cake, and then they go have dinner, stuff like that. but not have it be so micromanagey. And I think that for me is the biggest reason that this pack really failed. And I don't think in terms of gameplay I will get a lot of use out of it. I love the world, don't get me wrong. That is definitely for me the main selling point. Tortosa is absolutely beautiful. But in terms of gameplay, this is not really for me. And I think that micromanaging, it just doesn't really suit The Sims. I just kind of love the randomness of The Sims. And this pack just completely went against that. And yeah, so but that is just my opinion, guys. I am really curious to know how you feel about this pack, so definitely let me know in the comments. What are your experience? Do you feel like they actually fixed it with the latest patch, or do you still run into a lot of issues? Because I'm definitely very curious to know. So yeah, that's about the wedding pack then. Let's talk a little bit more about this build. If you don't know, I'm also working on a save file, and usually when I'm working on a save file, at the moment I'm just building houses for Sims that will live in Willow Creek. But I always have a family in mind that I'm building a house for. And with this particular build, because it's not necessarily for my save file, I didn't really have that. But I always, when I start building a house, I am starting to think about what kind of family would live here. And the more I thought about it, the more I felt like this is not really a house that I would envision just having a regular family living in. Obviously, if you live in this house, you won't be a regular family. You will be very wealthy. I think this is definitely like a Jeff Bezos kind of house, you know. But I felt like that this house would probably be not the main residence of the family, but like a second house. So maybe this house is owned by Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, who knows. And then this is their sort of vacation home, or if they have to go to Henford and Bagley to do business or whatever, or they have to go to the UK. I don't know why it would be in Henford and Bagley to do business, because it's a small countryside village, but maybe you have to be in a city that's pretty close by, and this is their manor that they stay in when they are traveling. And the rest of the year they kind of rent this house out for events. That's why I set up the whole wedding venue in the back of the house. I felt like that suited the storyline of this house. And it also gives it more flexibility for gameplay, I feel. Obviously, I have it set as a residential, so you can just play with this house as a residential house. But you can definitely set it just as a wedding venue and just have your Sims throw their weddings here. And then it would be kind of like you're renting this place for the event from the family that owns this, because the family that owns this this is not their main residence, if that makes sense. So that is kind of the storyline that I have in mind for this house. Obviously, very old build as well. And I imagine that it would be owned by very rich family. Like I said, I feel like this is like a Jeff Bezos second or third or fifth or 10th home. So yeah, but definitely I'm curious to know how you feel about this house. Do you maybe have in mind a family that you think could live here? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious. Obviously, if you want to download this house, you can find it on my gallery page. My origin ID is BriaSimsYT, so you can go there and download it. I also included a hashtag because I received a few comments that they had trouble finding me on the gallery, so you can also try searching for the hashtag BriaSims or the hashtag BriaSimsYT. And hopefully you should be able to find it that way. Yeah, so let me know what you think of this house. If you want to do a renovation, because at the moment, like I said, I set it up as a wedding venue, but I can imagine that you don't want a wedding venue in your backyard all of the time. If you decide to do a renovation, please let me know, because I would love to see. If you're going to re-upload it to the gallery, be sure to drop your origin ID in the comments down below and I will have a look. I can definitely imagine, since this house is built in Henford on Bagley, that it might be nice to have a farming area. At the moment, I don't really have that. I do have like a greenhouse room inside, but I don't have any farming outside. In the beginning, I don't know if you may have seen that. I think I got most of it out. Apologies. I tried building a proper greenhouse, but I tossed it because in the end, even though this is a 64 by 64 lot, I didn't really have a whole lot of space to build a farm, unfortunately. And I feel like could suit a house like this, but for me, like, the main aesthetic that I wanted to go for is like a romantic lush garden and a nice wedding venue, just to kind of celebrate that the wedding pack is fixed, sort of. I still don't fully recommend it, but obviously if you're into that micromanagey aspect and if you don't mind directing your Sims to do every little detail, then maybe this is the pack for you. If not, just don't buy it, or wait for it to come down in price to buy it if you want to play with the world of Tartosa. That, by the way, is an advice that I would give for basically all of the packs. Just wait for them to go on sale. The Sims team, they do sales pretty regularly, especially for expansion packs and game packs. They're often on sale for like 50% off, and you know, if you don't have to waste your money, it would be better to not do it. So yeah, and most of the packs that I got anyway, I got them on sale. There's only like a handful of packs that I bought when they were not on sale. By the way, if the microphone is picking up some noise, I don't think that it does. It was just like a truck driving by the streets. So, but I don't think the mic picks it up, but just if you can hear it, apologies. So yeah, about this house, downstairs there's like 3 bathrooms for whatever reason. I built this in 2 sessions. So the first building session, I did the floor plan, and when I came back to it, I was like, why did I put 3 bathrooms downstairs? These people really don't need 3 bathrooms downstairs, especially because all of the bathrooms upstairs, they all have en-suites. And it's actually the layout upstairs is actually quite funny. You see me working on it right now. I don't really have like a primary bedroom. The bedroom that I'm working on right now, I would say, is the primary bedroom because it is just my personal favorite. It has like a nice window bay and seating area. But the other bedrooms, like this bedroom doesn't have a walk-in closet. It does have an ensuite, but it doesn't have a walk-in closet, and the ensuite isn't that big. And 2 of the other bedrooms actually do have quite a large ensuite and a walk-in closet, and I also have like a children's bedroom. But I would say all the bedrooms are quite similar in size, so there's not really like a main bedroom here. You can just kind of pick whichever bedroom you like best and sleep there. Do let me know what bedroom you like best. I think in terms of furnishings, and I do this usually with my bigger houses, I try and keep it quite minimal because you know, I already use a lot of items on the outside. I used a lot of items for the landscaping. That was definitely my main focus for this build. And the lot was starting to lag a little bit. And I want my builds to be functional mainly. So that's why I didn't really detail the inside of this house too much. I did quite enjoy the interior, or definitely like the kitchen. It has a lot more of a rustic vibe than the other mentions that I have done so far. So yeah, here you see me building a little walk-in closet. It's actually a funny layout because if you want to go to this bedroom, you kind of have to walk through the walk-in closet to enter the bedroom. But I thought it was quite a nice layout. It's a bit of fun. It's a bit different. It's a bit unusual. And this is the children's bedroom. I had a double bed originally here, but I changed it to have 2 single beds. So anyway, guys, we are already in the screenshot, so I am going to leave this voiceover right here. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you did by leaving a like or a comment, or feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of my future videos, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!